Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new here. Today I'm going to be doing a budget recap or budget review of our February budget. So for those of you who are new here, I do budget bi-weekly. That is why there are two columns over here. So this is the first paycheck budget in this columns over here, and then this is the second bi-weekly paycheck budget. So before I get into the overall spending recap, I am just going to be going through everything step by step with our income, expenses, variable day-to-day expenses, and our savings as well. So starting up here with our income, I do like to review this because especially when I'm closing out, I just kind of go section by section and see if there are any changes, like if we got any new income coming in or any bills that maybe didn't get paid for or whatever. I do like to make sure I go through those when I'm closing out the budget. Starting over here with our income, I do like to make sure our starting balance is as close to 300 because that is the cushion that we like to leave in our checking account for just in cases. So for our starting balance, we had $293 in our checking plus our $21 in cash. So we had $314. My husband's income, I think I had originally budgeted this at $2,300, but he did get paid a little bit of overtime, so he ended up with $2,515. We did use our sinking funds this month. We used our vehicle sinking funds, our sinking fund, and then our kids and fund sinking fund. And I like to make a comment here on what that was about because I can't remember everything, and I could just look in our expense tracker to check this out, but I do like to see what I'm transferring money over. So from our vehicle sinking funds, we transferred a total of $245. $195 of that was for our vehicle registration, $50 for our oil change. I think what I ended up doing was I transferred the $195 for sure because we knew we needed to pay the registration, but the $50 for the oil change, I didn't transfer that over until later after we got the oil change because I totally forgot we needed to do that. So we let our cushion eat it up first, or whatever money we had in our checking account first, and then transfer the sinking fund over. And then for kids, we transferred $396. So kids, we used $250. I believe that was for my son's flag football sign up that we put on a credit card last month. And then for fun, we did $146. And I do remember this one, we did buy my mom a present, her late Christmas present, before we went to our San Jose trip. So that's what that one was from what I can remember. And then $100 from my ninang, who sends us $100 every month for the boys' allowance. And what I like to do with this is contribute it to their 529. I should really maybe tell her to do that straight away, but I think she prefers to transfer it to me via Zelle, so I'm okay with that, and that can just be transferred right over to our boys' college savings. And then on this income over here on the second paycheck budget, so as you guys can see, the starting balance is a little bit higher, and I believe that is because, or not I believe, I know that's because we needed a cushion also to pay for our bills on this side, because as you guys can see, the bills are a lot heavier towards the end of the month, and especially for this one because rent kind of fell under this paycheck budget. So yeah, usually the second half of our bi-weekly budget is usually heavier on the bills, which is why from the first paycheck budget we need to make sure we leave money in there to pay for next budget's bills. For income here, we started with $936. That was pretty much carried over. That's our starting balance. My husband did get paid a little bit of overtime as well. He got $25.34. We did take money from our sinking fund because this one I actually totally forgot to pay for. Luckily, we had a reminder before interest hit. So $540, that was from the car that we rented in January. We used my husband's card to cover that first, and then we used our sinking fund to pay for it. And then we also received cash gifts from when we went to San Jose to visit my family, and then plus money from our in-laws. And then moving on to our bills, I think the only one that was different was our tax prep fee. It's usually $125. It ended up being $155 because our tax prep guy did do my business taxes as well, and he did give me a discount since it was my first year of business, which was really, really generous of him. And he did help me out a lot as well too, so I'm really grateful for that. I think everything else was as usual. Our cell phone bill was high because we did have to pay for our cell phones to be fixed. It was covered through our cell phone insurance, which I do plan to cancel because we just need to take better care of our phones, and if anything were to happen, we can just use our emergency fund, because I think we're paying about $50 a month on insurance, or $40 a month for insurance. So we need to get rid of that. We actually need to just change our cell phone company. I think I've been talking about that for a while. So, and then with our variable day-to-day expenses, did highlight the reds here to see that we're over. But what I like to look is at the bottom is if we are over our overall day-to-day expenses. I like to, for sure, try to stay within whatever we budgeted for. Like if we budgeted $350 for food, I like to stay within that. But if we do go over, I mean, it is what it is. I try to keep an eye on it when I do my updates every week, that we're still kind of like on point. Otherwise, we need to take a look at the rest of our variable categories and see where we can kind of like hold back on the spending. And it's usually our food that tends to go over. I did increase it recently from $250 to $300, and I think I'm thinking about going up to $350. We don't know yet. We'll see. I just know for sure, just looking back in February, that there was a lot of days where I just wasn't feeling being in the kitchen. I just, you know, we don't have a dishwasher. I see a lot of like those kind of clean with me videos where they have dishwashers, and we've never used a dishwasher ever, and we pretty much just wash our dishes by hand, and that's how I kind of grew up doing it. And I just get so tired of doing it, you know, and it's just one of those phases where I just get into I just don't want to cook. I don't want to be in the kitchen. I don't want to, you know, so we end up just getting takeout, so, or something easy. So yeah. So what else in here? And like I said, with travel, we did spend that $540. And then with our savings, I do talk a lot more about our savings in my Transfer Tuesday videos, but we were able to save a good chunk of money. So $735 here, and then $283 in the second paycheck budget. And then just looking over on this side, this is where I put both paycheck budgets all together. The spending budget, or the February spending recap over here. So this is just adding both of the paycheck budgets. And what I really like to see here is the pie chart, and then just taking a look at anything that was like over for the entire month. And yeah, so my favorite part in here is the pie chart. I like to see that our savings is still a good chunk of where our money is going. Rent, of course, is always going to be high. But everything else is pretty, like, I think these are all pretty normal. And I think I don't think we went crazy over. And usually if we do, we have sinking funds to back us up. I feel like I've been doing a better job this year, you know, keeping check on our budgets, because after the holidays, it's just, spending has calmed down quite a bit this time around. Also over here, when I'm doing my recap, I like to put my ending balances here. I know you really don't have to do that, because you can just put whatever is in your checking account that you're left over with. But I like to put it on here just so when I'm doing my next budget, I can just refer to this if I need to. And then I just have a couple notes on here for things coming up in March. We do have quite a bit of events coming up, so I just want to make sure whatever we have incoming income that's extra to go towards our savings. If you haven't seen my Transfer Tuesday video, that one was about our tax refund and what we spent our tax refund on. So I did do an update on my savings, and we were able to save quite a bit. So I'm really excited to see March numbers. And yeah, so this is our February budget closeout. Hopefully that you guys found this interesting. Let me know in the comments down below if you've closed out your February budget and if you're consistent with that. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching, especially for watching to the end. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Have a good one, guys. Bye.